Welcome, dogs. Get your goggles, get your tightest like a tri suit, put on those compression socks. Why be good at one sport if you can be shit at three? This is the Triathlon Mockery Podcast. Yes, dogs. So we got our friend Joedie back from Texas. In the meanwhile, lifestyle athlete still in Amsterdam, prepping for IRONMAN Lanzarote. And now we're back with a show to update you what's going on.
Yeah, great
Joedie,
to be back after an awesome race, mate, in Texas.
what? I can say how's the week been, but how's the month been? Any highs and lows? Well, let's keep it recent. Let's not ditch up old cows from a month ago. But how's it going?
Yeah, it's going all right. Just literally got back yesterday about 10 o'clock. So been back a day now. Oh God, yawning, bit of jet lag. It was like 6-7 hours difference. So we're going forward. So always the worst way, isn't it?
Would you, when you're coming back from a long trip, would Techno and the powerful pensioner be at the airport with like flowers and a cardboard saying something like "Welcome back, Joedie, we missed you"?
No, I haven't seen them, or I haven't heard anything from them actually, really, for ages. Heard something from powerful pensioner, but I haven't heard much from Techno for literally 4 or 5 weeks. He's gone silent, mate.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe he's dating someone. Well, you're really tired. You're constantly.
I am, mate. I am. That's the hard work. What happens when you get old?
What are the highs and lows then for this week?
Well, obviously a massive low was the race. Like that was so disappointing. Like I felt like I was on for a good race with how my training had been going and everything. Like I'd done some really good training sessions in the lead up. Felt great all week. But then on the race, it was weird. Like on the swim, I felt all right, but I lost loads of time compared to normal. Like I think that was actually the biggest deficit in my whole career that I've ever gotten out of the water with. But I actually felt like I was swimming all right for me, like compared to times that I've hit in the past. It wasn't the best, but it definitely wasn't the worst. It was like fairly solid. So I would have thought with how I felt like I was swimming, I would have got out of the water 4 minutes, maybe back, something like that. 4 or 5 minutes, worst case scenario. Best case, like 3.5, which is last year when I did the race, I was 3.5 minutes out the water down, same swim course. And I had a little look at how everyone else had swam. And they were around, like, they were actually quicker, most people were, than last year. But I was 4 minutes slower. So I think even 4.5 minutes maybe slower than what I was last year. So that is very strange, You'd normally say, wouldn't you, if you did the same course and you felt like you were swimming similar in training, that you might be a minute worse, mightn't you, or something like that, but not 4.5. That's a lot.
And I think the quick swimmers were even quicker this year, so it was not really slow conditions. But what would you say? So when you were swimming, you actually felt fine, or would you say you were off, or?
No, I felt good in the water. I actually felt good, and like I was swimming and putting like a nice amount of effort in. But I don't know.
Do you think that is that's scary for the future? As in that that you're like that you think you're swimming good, but it's actually like horrific?
No, not really. I think it's probably just a case of like not feeling 100% because if there's no gauge, is there? Like in open water, you've only got the effort you put in. You can't see a clock, can you? Whereas if I was in a swimming pool and I was doing a training session, I would have probably felt horrendous because obviously I would have seen the times I was hitting for the effort, and it would have probably been clear that it wasn't right because you don't just lose 7 seconds, 100 overnight, do you?
Yeah,
that's effectively what I'd lost. So that was obviously like definitely not how I should have been swimming compared to how I've been going in training. Like there's obviously something wrong there, especially with how I felt later on the bike as well. And then anyway, got out on the bike, felt all right. Like, to be fair, to start off with, like the power felt pretty easy, but I wasn't really pushing it that hard. But I was catching up with loads of people, so I was like, okay, I'll just keep this effort going. And then we got onto the Hardy Toll Road, and like that's just this really boring, long, straight motorway, basically. imagine, right, I don't know what the main road is for you, but if you're in England, it'd be like riding down like the M6, something like that. And yeah, it was like 30k at least into a big headwind. So I knew that was going to be the case because I looked at the forecast. So I was waiting until we got there before putting more effort in. So then once we got onto the Hardy Toll, I upped the effort and caught quite a few packs of people, and then into the tailwind, just cruised it basically back the other way. And then once we got back into the headwind again, put a bit more effort, and that was when I rode up to like, so I got into a decent position by this point where I caught up with like Braden Curry, Patrick Lang, the guy that ended up winning, the Mexican guy. So I was with basically like in contention, and I sat on the back and it felt very, very easy. Like I was barely touching the pedals, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to wait for the right moment now to put a dig in and try and drop like Patrick and that, because I didn't want to really run with him if I didn't have to. So I put a bit of a dig in just for the turn, got a small gap, kept on the power a little bit in the tailwind, and caught Chris and the Mexican backup who had attacked just probably 5 minutes before I did into the headwind. And then literally in the space of about 5 minutes, I went from feeling really good to just feeling really ill, sick, bloated, absolutely horrendous. And it was so strange because just before...
But also the feeling of like fatigue leggish, or
no, my legs
or
felt
more...
good. No, my legs felt good, to be fair. Like I didn't have any fatigue in my legs. It was just feeling really ill, really sick. The whole way on the bike, to be honest, I hadn't really had to go out of my comfort zone and push it that hard. Like most of the time I was on the front, just dictating the pace. Like I wasn't having to worry about sitting in with anyone else and like thinking, oh God, I'm hanging on here. It was like normally when people were in front of me during that race, they were slowing me down and I wanted to get back in front of them. So that was a good positive to take. But yeah, it just felt awful, like hungover. Like when you go out when you're younger and you've drunk way too much, and the next day you're like, the only way to make me feel better is to stick my fingers down my throat. I felt like that. I was so hot that I ended up having to open my tri-suit up. So I rode the last 10k with my tri-suit like undone on the bike. Like I've never had to do that before.
But all right, and what do you think it's due to? Like a little virus, or not having the minerals, or what was the conclusion?
Well, I don't know. Like obviously, like a virus or something. Like Laura thinks it could be COVID because the symptoms what I've had in the past aren't normally that bad, but it would take the edge off you. So maybe something like that. But yeah, it's definitely obviously like some kind of illness because I've never had that happen before, and I've never felt sick like that in a race before. And then on the run, when I got onto the run, I felt even worse, to be honest, than what I did on the bike, and that felt terrible, like absolutely horrific. Not really so much sick when I started running at that point, but just really, really bad. Like yeah, I don't really know really how to describe that. Just absolutely nothing in the tank, like completely empty. So that was weird. I couldn't even run 4 minute 20, 4 minute 30k pace, which is what I do for an easy run in training. Like so, completely out of character.
That is dodgy.
And that's at the start of the run. Like I mean, normally when you do an Ironman, you feel good at the start, and it's not until halfway when you feel like you're working. Whereas I was feeling terrible within straight away. I didn't feel good even in the first 500 meters of the run or even a K, but I thought keep going because you might start off feeling bad, but then it could come around 3 or 4k in. But honestly, I felt bad the whole way. And by 5k, I knew that I was 5k in. I knew that was it. I was going to be stopping because there was no way I was going to slog through an Ironman feeling absolutely awful like this. I didn't have any part of the run where I felt good.
Alrighty, I had a question from a dog. Well, not sure if he's a dog or a trainiac or how to trainer, whoever it is, but he said, please, how can you explain why pros drop out and quit when they're not feeling great and know the result won't be good versus the age groupers that will finish no matter what?
The thing is, yeah, but you're doing it for a living, aren't you? Like, I don't need...
You don't explain to him. Say, hello, dog.
All right. Well, I think if you're an age grouper and I'm like invested, anyway, to be honest, even as a pro, I think you invest a lot of time, money and everything into it. But you're not competing for money, are you? So even if you have a great day, there's nothing to win, is there? You know, the whole idea is to finish, and if you feel great, you go in to get a PB. Whereas when you're doing it as a professional, you're doing it to make money. So if you feel awful and you feel ill, and it could impact your recovery and potentially doing good in another race, what is the point in doing that just for the sake of finishing? Like, you know, I've probably finished like over 40 Ironmans. Finishing isn't really the motivation for me. Like, if it was all about finishing, then I probably wouldn't do it. I'd probably just do 70.3s, you know.
Because you are already that Ironman. You already had that Texas finisher medal.
Yeah, I've already had the Texas finisher one. Like, I mean, like, you're doing it to make a living, aren't you? And at the end of the day, I don't need to, like, and also for enjoyment, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't have found it enjoyable slogging round for I don't even know if I'd done whatever it would have been, 3.5, 4 hours on the marathon. To me, that wouldn't have felt enjoyable. Like, I mean, that's fair enough if you've trained hard, and 3.5 to 4 hours is a great run for you. But I know the paces that I'd trained for, and that was probably an hour off. I would have been an hour
and
off.
Also, it's the start of the season, isn't it? I mean, if it would have been the last race of the season, you would have probably jogged
I don't even think if it was the last race, I would have finished. I wouldn't have even finished it feeling like that.
Have you, at a point in your career, thought about opening a clothing shop to sell all your finisher T-shirts if you've done 40 of them?
Laura normally uses them. Or I started off using them as bike rags to clean the chain and stuff. God knows where some of them are gone. But yeah, like, I think, and also, like, I think at the end of the day, it's like, if you enjoy it, isn't it? If you're enjoying, like, finishing no matter what and stuff like that, then great, you know, go for it. But if at the end of the day, if you feel like crap and you feel ill and it's not enjoyable at all, as well as, like, you know, then why would you do it at the end of the day? Like, the main reason we got into it was because we all enjoyed it, wasn't it? You know? Yeah. But then also, like, I don't feel like I would have gained anything. I feel like if I'd have carried on, it would have only impacted me more in terms of recovery. God knows what else, because I felt that bad. Like, I didn't see the point in doing an Ironman and potentially making yourself more ill and then ruining other races down the line. So I just thought, you know what, it's not worth it. But it's not the first race I've DNF'd at, and it probably won't be the last. It probably won't be the last race as well.
What is the next step now then for you?
Get back into training after the weekend and, like, properly, and then I'm going to do the Challenge Championship race. I think it's on the 17th or 18th of May. Give that a crack, and then the next big race will be Ironman Cairns in Australia, which is part of the Ironman series. So that'll be a big one to see whether or not I can carry on, like, whether or not I carry on pursuing the Ironman Pro Series. Like, if that goes well, then I'll carry on pursuing it. If not, then I'll have to pick some other goals, but hopefully it should go well. I mean, if you keep training hard and you keep doing well, then eventually a big result's only around the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, you're still fit. I mean, you said you've been running PBs.
Oh, and, yeah, I felt amazing in training. Like, I would say I was probably the fittest I've ever been going into an Ironman. Certainly up there with it. So my confidence before the race was really high, and all week in the taper I felt fantastic. Me and John did an effort the day before, like a few little pre-race warm-ups, and we felt great. And we both said to each other, "We're on for a really good result here. Like, if we felt like this, then we'd be well happy."
Yeah, I can.
That was the first race as well. I was out there with John, and that was the first Ironman he's DNF'd at. That was since he's been doing it. He's been doing it for like 10 to 12 years as well. So he obviously wasn't feeling great either.
No. Yeah, he also swam well, not the best. But yeah, that's a real shame. But anyway, high. I'll start off with the high, Joedie, because this was your low. For the first time since, I would say, mid-September 2023, you're thinking I'm on about training. No, I'm on about the flipping weather. The sun came out in the Netherlands. They removed the gray cloud over the northern side of Europe, and especially the rain. And for the first time as well, it's been above 20 degrees. So literally up until last week, it was 8 degrees. I've been training in flipping degrees and rain. And although Ironman Lanzarote is in 3 weeks, you know, Canary Islands, going to be hot. I like hot races. Not. What I was worried about the most was if you haven't seen the sun in months, your skin is going to be pale as anything, you know? And I've already got a very pale skin, but imagine not seeing the sun for 4 months. So my finisher pics and everything are going to be screwed in Lanzarote because I'm going to be a running ghost.
You're going to have to wear that, like, that ultra runner get up stuff, what they wear, where people have, like, the tail bit on the back of a cap and they wear, like, white
arm sleeves. I've got the white arm sleeves.
Have you really?
Yeah, I bought them for Mexico, but didn't use them.
Really? Do they actually keep you cooler though? Because I look at them and think like
I don't know.
Got a layer of clothing.
Well, it's not about keeping you cooler, because what I've had in races, so for example Kona, is that towards midway of the marathon, or maybe like 1/3 in, whatever, the sun gets into my skin, even when using suntan lotion. So first of all, the suntan
into your skin.
Well, like skin burn.
Oh, you feel like you're burning.
Yeah, you feel like you're burning. And first of all, of course, you use suntan lotion, but then the suntan lotion blocks the skin from breathing. So that's one thing why you feel absolutely flipping boiling. And the second thing is, my skin is then so sensitive that it starts to feel like it's burning like 1/3 in. And when the sun is in there, it's fucked. And you just feel like you're constantly burning and heating, mate. So that's why you've got these arm sleeves. Nah, not for Lanzarote. No, I'm not that sensitive. But, well, I don't know, actually. Well, I'll have a little look how that drip's going to look on me.
You're looking like an old man. There's only old people I see wearing stuff like that.
Speaking of looking like an old man, Joe, I've got a low. Last week I was running, and I get this occasional problem. So if you shave your legs, right? How high up would you shave it?
All the way.
All the flipping way. Because I was...
Otherwise it looks like you've got hairy shorts.
Yeah, no, I wasn't meaning like even like higher up. Because I was going on a long run, I think it was last week on a Saturday or Sunday, and I wore a different set of underpants. I think it was different kind of lycra. And I think about 15 Ks in, mate, the shavings were so bad that I was like knotting battle braids down my pants. And I had to stop after like 20 Ks because I couldn't even flip and walk anymore because the shavings were so bad.
Why? What was the cause of it then?
I don't know. I think it just like the underpants.
So what's the shaving got to do with it?
I don't know, because I don't even know, mate. I don't even know what's going on.
How far did you shave up? Did you shave like higher than where the shorts went down to, or lower? Like, do you think?
I would say like up and around till like where the underpants starts.
So, do you think there was something to do with like you shaved too much and that was why it was chafing? Or
No. That's not. No, because I didn't shave there. I trim. But oh my god, mate, I had to flip and walk. It was crazy, and I was 10 Ks away from home.
Because the chafing was that bad, you had to walk.
I could barely walk. I had to take public transport home.
What? Seriously?
Yeah.
What was it like when you were in the shower then after?
Oh, mate, I didn't dare risk it. So I wait for like a couple of hours to let it like dry or something. Like I've had it one time during an Ironman. I think it is because I've got massive glute, absolute massive glutes, you know. That if you've got a flat glute, so no glute at all, then the butt cheeks won't really hit each other because there's not a lot of butt to hit the other butt, you know?
Yeah.
So if you've got really big butt cheeks and the legs are moving, then the butt cheeks will move and
but where was
against
the
each other.
Then?
I think in combination with the dodgy new underpants.
But whereabouts on your body?
Yeah, around the butt cheeks, man.
On the butt cheeks?
Yeah. Strange, isn't it? I've had one Ironman that I ran myself into blood, mate. Yeah.
You'll bleed for this sport, won't you?
I am flipping bleeding for this sport.
If I had that mentality, I might have got another finisher's t-shirt on the weekend.
Yeah.
Next time when I do an Ironman, if I'm having a rotter, I'm getting a public transport round to the other part of the round course.
Oh, meine Güte, mate. It was so flipping bad. But anyway, I think the whole Scrootch area right now is dodgy.
And what happened
Um,
with the shorts in the end? Did you keep them or are they on like
oh
vintage?
no, I stopped halfway at a gas station to go to the toilet and I threw it in the flipping bin.
Really? So what? So you wear underwear underneath your run shorts?
Yeah,
I don't wear underwear underneath a run short. That's probably why you're
really?
getting it. Yeah, they have like a layer in, don't they? You know, like they have.
No, I don't have a layer in.
Yeah, like they have like the ones that I've got have like some kind of. But even the tight ones, I don't wear any underwear underneath them. Do you
But
wear
the
the
tight
tight?
ones don't have a layer in. It's just like one solid thing of lycra.
Yeah, I thought you were supposed to just wear them like as they are.
Flipping hell, mate! You've been teasing the women around the park for ages then.
That's where
But
my fan base comes from, mate. What do you wear?
well,
Would you wear? Do you wear the? Was it tight ones that you had over the top of them, and you wear some
yeah.
underwear, and you wear some underwear underneath them?
Yeah,
I didn't even know you were. I thought you were supposed to just wear them as they are.
mate. I don't know. I'm not into like these. I don't know. I'm just
So I
doing
would
something. I
imagine that
thought this was
underwear
it.
is why if you've got like cotton underwear on or something. That's
Well,
why you get chafing.
if you're into like the underwear industry or if you're into like the sports industry, let us know.
What are you
Do
supposed
you
to
need
do?
to wear underwear in the run pants?
And is Vaseline going to be? Is Tom going to be the biggest purchaser of Vaseline in the Netherlands going forward?
I am. I am.
Baby oil, mate.
Um,
Anti-chat. You need some. You need some of the nappy cream. That's what you need on it, mate.
but
John was. You know,
no,
you weren't the only one with some chafing. When I was away in America, when we first after Oceanside, John had terrible chafage, and when we went to Tucson, the roads were so bumpy, he was barely able to get through a bike ride because it was like so painful on him.
yeah, I can. That's what I meant to say. With like my whole Scrootch is a mess now. Like because I've also got a new TT bike and literally picked it up last week, and this one has a totally different position. And every time I'm going riding, so I've been on the bike twice now on this thing, well, 3 times now, and 2 times 160k plus, where I was like pushing it a little bit. And same, that crucial area is like a flipping war zone, mate.
You
And
need to get
then
yourself, mate, a Wove bike saddle, don't you?
and there's not enough time in between the sessions for it to recover, you know. So I hope during taper
That's
it
what
will
John was
adapt.
banking on, hoping
Yeah,
that during the taper it would come round and that he was actually
because
able to ride in the
I
TT
mean
bars. Like
the
a couple
Scrooge
of
area is just like a muscle, ain't it? It's undergoing stress from training, and you hope it's gonna adapt during the
it's gonna be tough as old boots, mate. Yours is, isn't it? By the time you get to the race, it's gonna be like leather down.
Yeah, mate, it's gonna be flipping like crocodile leather.
Yeah.
But
If that still tears, then bloody hell, God knows what you're doing to it. Like what you can't do anymore, can you?
the biggest fear is, mate, that is not even the Scrooge. It is the lower back.
You know
Like
what
I
John?
don't know.
You know what you need to do. What John had to do in the end, don't you? In Tucson, he had to put a sock down there to. Well, he said to make,
Sock?
yeah. He said to make it more comfortable,
Paddy.
to add a bit more padding. So
What?
he was cycling around with a sock down, his cycling shorts, and it doubled up as not only being more comfortable, but also looking a lot more appealing to the ladies. So when you get out of T1, mate, you'll have to have a sock in in your bag that you chuck down your shorts. They'll be like, bloody hell, like that triathlete's pretty big.
Who's that armadillo?
Yeah.
But
But don't take it out when you're on the run course because you'll only disappoint people then when they see you. Then they'll be like, they'll have had all these high hopes from what you look like on the bike, and then all of a sudden on the run, they'll be like, he looked a lot bigger than that when I saw him bike past. Where's he gone?
what what do you reckon? So I'm 3 weeks away now, and well, two and a half, and after 2.5 hours on the bike, well, I say after an hour and a half, if I push it hard on the bike, my whole lower back is seizing up. But I think it has to do with, again, back to the Scrooge, that the bloodstream is not fully floating there. I've installed a new saddle yesterday, and I hope that's going to make a change because that's what flipping scares me if my lower back seizes up. I've never had that. Well, I've had it in the past, like at some Ironmans, but I not recently anymore.
Yeah, God, I haven't had like back pain like that for years. I can't even remember what I did to get rid of it before. You've done some decent amount of riding now, haven't you, on your TT bike?
Yeah, but it's just and the position isn't even that aggressive. So I'm thinking, like, how is it possible?
You need to get yourself in the gym, mate. Strength and
Yeah, it's not
conditioning.
the gym, mate. It's not the gym. I've been throwing out weights like whatever, but it's I'm
Are you
currently
doing the lower
literally
back exercises though for it?
yeah. I've got a strong lower back because I've also been swimming a shitload, and I don't know.
Are you doing like squats and deadlifts and stuff like that?
I haven't been doing squats because I find them too dodgy. But
Too dodgy.
don't worry about my lower back, mate.
But
I
you're
think
the one
it's
who's
got to
worried
do with
about
the
your lower
saddle.
back.
I think yeah.
No,
I'll worry about the lower back. Yeah.
well, I'd say it's either got to be your bike position or strength and stuff like that. It's either got to be one of the two, isn't it? If your muscles are fatiguing.
It's not the muscles are fatiguing. I think it is because I pushed on my lower back yesterday. And do you know the feeling when your schlong is not getting any blood? It feels numb, doesn't it?
When you what, doesn't?
So when you ride on the top of your saddle and there's not any blood going to one of your genitalia,
All
then it
right.
will feel numb, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When I pushed on my lower back, my whole lower back felt like that. And I was like, fucking hell, I think it's the blood circulation that gets blocked somewhere in this scrootchal area. So that's why I changed the saddle.
All right.
So I hope this is going to solve it. This is what scares me the most.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, because if your lower back seizes up in Lanzarote after 2 hours in on the bike.
The good thing is, though, there's quite a bit in Lanzarote where you can come out the TT bars, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah. Is there something else you want to talk about this week?
I'm going to fill the endless pool up, mate. Make
then?
friends with the neighbours again. Yeah, I'm going to clean that up later today, get the water back in there and get back and have a little start using that.
Because you want to see what your technique is like?
Yeah, it's great for improving your technique. It's also really good for like some works that, like similar to like open water swimming because you don't have any turns. When you're swimming in there for like long periods of time, it's like it feels like swimming like when you do an open water session. And it's so handy as well, just being able to walk out your back door and go for a swim. Especially if you just wanted to do like, an easy one. Or even if you want to do like some longer efforts and stuff, it's just handy, isn't it? It's literally like you get your swim stuff.
But if we look at you and your swimming, have you? What about joining a swim club in Norwich?
There's not really any, mate. There's not really any. Like there's
no.
I went some before. There's one. That's all right, but the times are just terrible for it.
What times we talking?
Starting in the water, what do you reckon?
5:30.
Yeah, 5:30.
Yeah, that was my swim squad in The Hague. They did it as well.
Last.
Well, I only went once, but
I don't want it enough. I don't want it. I'm happy where I am.
No, but they swam twice a day, so the other session was at like 4 p.m. So
yeah, well, these guys don't swim twice a day, so it's either that, it's like or love it.
The question is, do you want it bad enough?
Well, to be honest, I went to one of the sessions before, and like it was all right. It wasn't anything different than what I'd normally do by myself. So it was like, why would I like suffer around getting up at like 4:30 in the morning? I've actually recently been getting swim coaching, mate. 2 weeks ago. Not that you would have known from my Texas swim. So we'll see how that goes leading up to Cairns. It was Fenella's partner.
What is that coaching like then?
Basically sends you like a training session. It sends you what to do, in the water for every session. Like you'd get if you had a bike coach or a run coach, it just sends you what the main sets are, target times to hit, and what to do in the session. He said to me after Oceanside, he's seen me swim before, and he thinks that my technique's actually all right. So it must be something that I'm doing in the pool that's not working. So he said, stick with it, bear with it for 12 weeks. I reckon I'll make a massive difference. And he said he's that sure that it'd make a difference. He'll do it for free. and he just wants to see me improve. So I've started getting coached by him for the swim, and we'll see how it goes in the lead up to Cairns. But the session seemed pretty decent in Tucson. I did them for 2 weeks, and they seemed really good. But obviously Texas was just an off day. I don't think that's not any reflection on the swimming that I was doing for the 2 weeks beforehand. So it'll be interesting to see how sticking to it for the next 10, 12 weeks goes, and how you're doing after that, really.
How many kilometers a week would you swim then?
What, now or with him?
With him.
Well, he wants to do like 25 to 30k, something like that.
25 to 30k a week.
Yeah, well, I did like the first week second week in Tucson. I think me and John swam 27k, something like that.
Fucking hell. But that's just 1 week, you know. What about 10 weeks?
Well, the week before that was like 24k.
Okay,
and that was the first 2 weeks. That was the first 2 weeks with him. And the first week of 24k was after a half Ironman, so you couldn't go straight into it straight away, could you?
Fair enough. All right.
They didn't feel decent. That bad. I mean, it's not like you're spending massive amounts of time in the water, are you? Like 28k would only be like less than 7 hours of actual swimming, in terms of like how much time you're swimming, isn't it? Because even if you swim 1 minute 30 per 100, that's like 4k an hour. So it's probably only like 6 hours 30, 6 hours 40 of actual swimming in a week. Like if you look at, I mean, like it's a decent amount, but it's not massive, is it? It's not like you're in the water for like bloody Harry Cloud in 20 hours, is it?
I don't know. He pulled something when swimming, and now he's out of the race. That shows you how dodgy swimming is.
They should just ban it. It should just be a canoe or something, shouldn't it? Or a row. A row at the start. That would be handy.
Well, it's called a duathlon.
Yeah, but let's just get rid of the swimming. It makes it it gives people injuries, and they always get cancelled anyway. They're always worried about whether or not they're going to get cancelled. You don't have to worry about cancelling a run, do you? Because the rain's bad, do you?
Yeah.
We'll start the race with a run. We'll then go onto the bike, and then we'll have the swim last. And if the weather's bad for the swim, then we'll just can it, and you just finish at the end of the bike.
Have you got a bullshit buster?
Not really, mate. The only thing that I can think about would be being on whereabouts, mate. Stops you getting great results. Like it's all about being not on whereabouts nowadays, isn't it? Don't you reckon?
But isn't that something? I mean, an athlete doesn't choose to be on there or not.
Well, yeah, they might not choose it, but it seems like that's the key to success, mate. You know, not being on whereabouts. No.
I can vouch for the people that are not on whereabouts that it doesn't mean that you're getting results. So that bullshit is busted.
Yeah. No, I'm only joking. I can't. I'm really thought of anything.
What? When you starting back training again today?
I'm going to go for a bike ride in a bit, yeah, after this, and go for a swim in a little while, and then but properly on like next week. Next week, that's when I'll start properly, like following a proper plan and stuff.
All right, fair enough. All right, good luck then, and then
it never stops, does it, mate?
Better never stops. So now we'll be back with the podcast as well again. Now you're back in the UK.
Now I'm back in the UK, all things swinging. We need to get Max Stapley on, don't we, as well, to talk about his victory. I mean, he's been smashing it at the start of this year, isn't he, so far? Yeah,
he has been. Yeah.
See whether or not he's got a chance at the Olympics, because it's going to be like, it looks like it's in the balance now. Like old Stapley could be getting there.
Yeah, top 5 at the Olympics.
Well, he's got to try and get into the team first for GB, which is easier said than done.
Yeah, but one thing that bothered me is we paid him with the patrons' money a sponsorship, and he is getting results, but he still didn't put the logo on the kit, and he never had. So he basically screwed us over. So we need to hold him accountable for that the next time he's on the podcast. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine with Valère that you're paying me, for example, $2,500, and then boom, I'm never promoting it. I'm not even putting it on my kit. Yeah. So we want Triathlon Mockery on the kit when he gets the top 5 for podium at the Olympics. He owes us that. Do you reckon?
He owes us that. Stavely, where are you? Where's Triathlon Mockery?
We need that on the kit for the Olympics. That's it. All the other races are fine, but we just want to have. I mean, the Prince of Bahrain can be like a very small logo down the bottom, but we want to have that middle bit, like very big, a dog saying Triathlon Mockery
on there, don't we?
Yeah,
or
a very
British
big
bulldog.
one. Yeah. Don't ever forget who pulled you out of the slumps.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah. I'm kidding.
All right.
All right. I'll see you later. Bye.